Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited to dive into something I've been waiting for forever, a review of Hogwarts Legacy on PS5. I've spent way too many hours roaming around Hogwarts, casting spells, and let's just say, feeling like I'm finally living out my wizard dreams. But does it actually live up to the hype? Spoiler alert, I have some mixed feelings, so let's jump in. So first up, let's talk about the visuals because it is exactly how you would imagine it. From the moment you step into the castle, everything feels so immersive. The way the ghosts just pop out and float through the walls and the stained glass windows in the Great Hall. Also, the attention to detail in each room, from the moving portraits to the texture of the walls. It's just chef's kiss. But is it perfect? I did notice a few frame rate drops, especially in larger open world areas. Nothing too crazy, but definitely worth mentioning for my fellow gaming enthusiasts out there. Now let's get into the story. I think a lot of people were curious, is this just another Harry Potter game? Well, sort of, but it's also its own thing. You're not playing as Harry, Hermione or Ron, which actually works in the game's favour because you get to create your own character, attend Hogwarts and go on this completely unique adventure. The plot involves uncovering ancient magic and navigating the tensions of wizarding society, which honestly gave me a few I didn't expect that moments, but I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking either. Personally, I found the storyline intriguing and it has a lot of cool magical lore and plot twists, but at times it felt like the main focus was more about giving us an excuse to explore Hogwarts, Hogsmeade and the surrounding areas. I didn't expect to spend so much time exploring Hogsmeade, and it was such a pleasant surprise. Walking through those cobblestone streets, visiting shops and interacting with the townsfolk felt like a real part of the Wizarding World experience. The game also features a wealth of side quests and collectible challenges that really encourage you to venture beyond the main storyline. Exploring the Forbidden Forest and discovering hidden caves also introduced fun little narratives and lore tidbits that fleshed out the world even more. And let's not forget the Room of Requirement. It's such a cool personal space where you can brew potions, grow magical plants and even decorate. This adds to the immersion of Hogwarts life and serves as a nice break from the main story and combat. You will also get to encounter, rescue and interact with the magical beasts like nifflers and majestic hippogriffs. You'll find yourself knee-deep in the care of these beasts, which really expands the magical world beyond just Harry Potter's adventures. And honestly, it feels like you're stepping right into the Fantastic Beasts universe, where these creatures play a pivotal role. Don't get me wrong, I loved uncovering ancient secrets and it definitely kept me hooked, but I felt like the story was just a little thin in parts, almost as if it was there to support the experience of being in the Wizarding World rather than being the main attraction. That said, the game gives you more freedom to explore Hogwarts and the magical world than the movies ever did, and it's amazing to see elements from the books brought to life in such detail. I'd say if you're here for the pure immersion and atmosphere, you'll probably love it. But if you're looking for a deep emotional storyline, it might not hit quite as hard. Alright, the meat of any game, the gameplay. This is where things get really interesting because Hogwarts Legacy gives you a lot to do, from learning spells to flying on a broom. The mechanics feel intuitive, especially with the PS5's haptic feedback. Casting spells feels really satisfying. The controller reacts with subtle vibrations every time you successfully pull off a charm or hex. That being said, the combat system is fun, but not super deep. I'll be honest, it did start to feel a bit repetitive after a while. You're mostly cycling through the same spells, and although there are some upgrades you can apply to your wardrobe for protection and additional power, they don't seem to make a huge impact during combat. But one thing I really enjoyed was what you learned in lessons required to be applied in combat outside of the classroom. It made me feel like a real student at Hogwarts, bringing all these spells into action, which added to the immersiveness. You also get to customize your character's abilities through skill trees and unlock new spells, or enhance the ones you already have, adding some depth to both combat and exploration. But here's the thing, whilst it's cool to feel like you're growing as a wizard, I found the spells you unlock to be a bit underwhelming. They're not super complex. A lot of them feel like minor builds or enhancements on what you already start with. I was kind of hoping for more of those jaw-dropping, complex spells and hexes that really wow you. Still, I appreciated that the game lets you learn these spells like a real student at Hogwarts. It definitely captures that feeling of gradually becoming more powerful, even if the spells themselves didn't always blow me away. It's like, I want to be a master wizard, but I guess I'll have to settle for a few extra charms here and there. While I did notice some repetition in using those simple spells during these interactions, it actually opens up some fun opportunities. You get to make friends with other characters, which is a big part of the experience. Plus, exploring their backstories helps you dive deeper into the wizarding world, especially during the times when Voldemort wasn't dominating the scene. Seriously, he always had to be the centre of attention, didn't he? Anyway, these interactions also pushed you to get involved in solving puzzles. It's like every time you chat with someone, you're not just having a casual conversation, you're also gearing up for a little adventure or mystery to unravel. So even though the spells might feel a bit repetitive, the relationships and challenges you encounter really enrich the gameplay and keep you engaged. Apart from using spells, you can also brew your own potions from the plants you collect, and once you have learnt the recipes or found recipes around the world. This added a strategic layer to battles. I also enjoyed the stealth mechanics using the disillusionment charm during certain missions, which provided a nice change of pace. So if you're more into exploration, this game really delivers. Hogwarts itself is a maze of secrets, hidden rooms and Easter eggs. When it comes to the Dark Arts pack, I have to say it's not really worth the investment. I'm all for embracing the dark side sometimes, but the new spells and cosmetic options are not necessary. I think you could definitely save your galleons for something better, as the original game offers plenty of magic and adventure as it is. Now for replayability, for an RPG it's decent. You have multiple side quests, customization options and different choices you can make throughout the game that affect the story, but I wouldn't say it drastically changes the experience. I feel like after you've seen most of what Hogwarts has to offer, that's not a huge reason to replay unless you're a completionist. In terms of value for money, honestly, if you're a Potterhead, it's worth it just to experience the world. But if you're more of a casual gamer, here's where it gets tricky. Sure, the game is immersive and beautiful, but are the core mechanics unique to justify the price? Honestly, there are similar experiences out there like Assassin's Creed Origins or Marvel's Spider-Man that offer dynamic combat, exploration and a rich storyline. If you happen to get it for about £25 like I did, then honestly I'd say it's definitely worth giving a go. So overall, how do I feel about Hogwarts Legacy? It's definitely one of the most immersive games I've played in a long time, especially if you're a fan of the wizarding world. The graphics, the attention to detail, the sheer joy of exploring Hogwarts, it's all there. But it's not without its flaws. The combat could have been more varied and the storyline could be richer, so I would rate it a 7 out of 10, but I am a little bit more biased. Alright, that's it for today's review. Let me know in the comments if you've played Hogwarts Legacy or if you're thinking about picking it up. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more gaming content like this. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one.